Good morning. Good morning. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. It's your boy Christian with Voyager Nation Super Trucker Podcast. We drop trucking content on our social media, so that's what we do. Is we talk trucking. All right, let me get everything going here, my people. Give me 1 second. All right. Good morning. Good morning. It's Christian with Voyager once again. Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Every 9 a.m. we discuss. We actually answer questions that we gather around our social media platforms, and it's all about trucking, especially first-time owner operators looking to buy that truck and get into their own business and do it for themselves. And also owner operators who are looking for better opportunities. So that's what this is about, and sharing and actually sharing experiences. So for all the other guys that are getting into this, they can actually learn through a program like this rather than learning the hard way and losing money. All right, guys. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. Put that out there, smash that like button. It helps the algorithm put this in front of the right people, and hit that bell icon so you get notified when we drop videos. They come out after 5 o'clock Monday to Friday as well, so plenty of content there for guys to be successful. All right, so here we go, guys. Give it a minute for everybody to get on, and here we go. All right, so we passed the actual deadline. So I hope everybody got their 2290s in and got that bad boy out of the way. So that's good right there. I have seen an up in recruiting calls in regards to people buying their own trucks and stuff like that. So they did have questions about buying their first 2290. So kind of settled all that down, but hopefully everybody got through that and no penalties. Okay. So, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Check out our channel, Super Trucker Podcast. Plenty of content there for guys who are jumping into this for the first time, and it'll help you out along that journey. All right. All right. So what we actually do is we take a tons of questions that we get across our social media platform. We compile them and we cover them every morning at 9 a.m. Monday to Friday. So here we go. I'm going to review some of these questions, and please put the comments up there. If you have current questions, we answer them live. And once again, we are 100% owner operator based company. No company trucks here to compete with. That seems to always be one of the top questions that I get on a daily. And I think it's because we do have multiple owner operators with multiple trucks, and they hire fleet drivers. However, those fleet drivers are working directly for those owner operators. So if you're actually looking for an opportunity like that, we have open seats from time to time. Reach out to us. 863-342-5171. We'll be glad to hook you up with the right partner, and hopefully you guys work something out. All right. So because remember, the platform is that guys are always doing their research before buying their very first truck. So I think that's a lot of these questions stem from that, but we're going to go ahead and cover them, and let's jump right in. So one of the things is, what's the most expensive repair you've seen put an owner operator out of business? Well, I've seen expensive repairs, but I don't necessarily think that one actual big repair is what actually put the guy out of business. I tend to think what is most common, it's the smaller repairs that add up. And what happens there is they go depleting the savings or depleting the maintenance escrow. So until there's no money left. And it's not just that it's depleting that escrow, it's also that there's no revenue coming in. So the cash flow stops abruptly. And then on top of that, you're depleting what you do have to, in hopes to get this truck back up and running. So there's a lot of guys that lose money in that regard. I think that's what the most common factor is. It's not necessarily that, that one overhaul for 15 grand or whatever it was, put the guy out of business. Not necessarily that. What I mostly see on a daily basis is guys don't know when to give it up. So I get it, right? It's kind of it's personal, man. It's not that easy. It's an emotional attachment to this truck. That's your baby. You're trying to keep things alive. You're trying to keep things running, and it kind of gets away from you. So I have seen where guys, 3,000 here, 4,000 here, 1,500 here, 1,800 there, and slowly, there's just no room anymore to operate. So I would say that's more of what it is. It's the smaller ones that added up to be really big, but it's like dying that slow death. It's just goes chipping away at the foundation of of being an owner operator. And that truck is the meat and potatoes. So I would say it's more of that than anything. All right. Can I actually make money with an older truck, or am I setting myself for breakdowns? Whew, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle on this one. But let me tell you why. So let's just take this week alone, right? Got two individuals, they don't even know each other, just kind of experiences, and that's what this is about, putting them in front of guys like you so you guys can see this. All right, so my number one guy, he actually onboarded. Truck's an older truck. I want to say '07, '05, somewhere around there. Truck is paid. He has put some work into it, takes care of it, but it's been his truck since day one. So he bought that bad boy with 0 miles. So now he knows exactly the history of that truck. He knows how he's maintained it. He knows all of that. And the thing is mint. I mean, that truck is nice. So there you go. So an older truck can make it for you. But now if he's nowhere near selling that truck because it treats him so good. So now I have another individual who's actually in the market, and he's looking to buy a truck, and he's looking for older trucks. So the guy calls about, buying possibly anything from a 98 to a 2002. So that there, he's buying someone's headache, because my man with this '05, he's not selling that because that truck treats him good. The only time he's going to sell is because it's already time to change. So if you have limited funds, I don't necessarily think that buying a used truck with, over 1 million miles, and you don't know the history of it other than the guy telling you that it's a good truck. Um, I don't know. I would not do that. But I do believe, like this other guy, if he's been doing his preventive maintenance and he's been keeping it up, and now he has an older truck. So an older truck can hit the mark. It can be part of the mold to make you successful. It just depends on how it works out. You know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily, in one case, if I'm buying a truck right now, I wouldn't buy somebody's problem. I would go get something better than that, and I wouldn't be nervous about the payment. And then I wouldn't get rid of my truck unless it's actually, I can forecast that it's going to start to give me problems, and the major problems, and then that would be the time to dump that truck. So yeah, you can actually make money with an older truck, as one of the guys that's coming here with that '05. As Luna, that's it's my sidekick on the morning show. So here we go. All right, guys. Let us know in the comments, what year is your truck? How long have you had it? What's your opinion? Should what would you tell somebody coming in that's about to buy a truck, and he's thinking about buying that 1 million miler off of Craigslist? Is it a good idea? Is it not a good idea? Let us know in the comments how you feel, and what would you do? All right. All right. So our next question, what we have here is, should I do my own maintenance, or is it better to stick with a dealer and a shop? First, you have to look at your capacity to come up with your plan, right? Because I got tons of guys that operate a little bit different. Some guys are not mechanically inclined, and other guys are. I mean, I got guys who can change a turbo, change a clutch. They can mount and dismount on the road. They have the tools on them, in the like on the truck, so they could definitely do that. Multiple guys that can have that capacity. So that definitely helps the bottom line. Like, you have to get to know that truck. You have to get the feel of that truck. You have to have some of that mechanic. That will save you thousands and thousands of dollars. And it kind of goes back to the first question that we were talking about. It's those small things that will put you out, right? Now, that when they add up, they'll definitely put you out, because every time you're down, you're waiting on a part, you're doing this, you got some downtime. That's cash flow that no longer is coming into your business. So now, you're taking money for expenses, personal expenses, right? You got bills, and you're using that money to make repairs. So it's this double-edged sword of just depletion going on. So for sure, check your level of mechanical capacity, and learn about your truck. Learn about, wear and tear parts on that. What can you do? Can you mount and dismount your own tires? What kind of tools do you have in your truck? I get some horror stories where, on the other side of that, I've had guys help other guys out on the road, and they're like, man, the guy don't even have a screwdriver. So like he doesn't even know. So he's just relying on whatever the TA or the pilot is going to tell him. So imagine that, like you're banking on these guys to help you be successful. That right there is not a good business plan. Those guys, I don't even know if all those technicians know exactly what they're doing. So I wouldn't necessarily do it that way. I'm not saying you have to be a full blown diesel mechanic, but I am saying you have to know a little something about your personal truck, getting to know it, the ins and the outs, and working out, how things function and how things work, so that you have a better chance to be successful while being out there. So you have to know a little bit of something, enough that you're not getting taken advantage of at a shop, or at that TA. Man, those guys could really put you out of business by the type of information that they're giving you. I guess I'm boring her. Look at that. All right. So what else do we have? And what about you guys? How many of you guys out there have can handle your own on what kind of work do you do yourself? Has anybody out there done mount, dismount on the road? Do you have the tools to do so, or do you just rely on the TAs and the pilots of the world to fix those problems? Let us know in the comments. All right, guys, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm put this in front of the right people, so that they could be better at what they do best, which is going to be being an owner operator. All right, so make sure you do that. It helps the algorithm. Smash that like button, and also hit the bell icon so you get notified when we drop new videos. All right, we appreciate that. All right, so here we go. All right. How do I know if there's enough freight in my lane to keep me running year round? All right, so let's talk about that. So how do I know if there's enough freight in my lane to keep me running year round? So the idea behind that is, what is my lane? What does that mean? I just want to say, in order for you to be protected about freight year round, about volume, you got to have some adaptability. So my lane has to be a negotiable thing. I'm not saying it's a negotiable thing on a weekly basis. I'm just saying that it's a negotiable rate, a negotiable topic about it has to be negotiable in the regards to, you got to be willing to move and chase some of the freight at certain times of the year. Your business has to keep moving. The freight isn't going to just come to you. You have to adapt to it, and that's the name of the game. In this business, you got everything's volatile. Nothing is a permanent constant other than your behavior, right? It's going to be fuel prices go up and down, rates go up and down, capacity goes up and down. Right? All of that is a moving target at all times. So the idea is actually to make sure that you remain adaptable. That's what I would say. So for you to ensure that there's work year round, when you say my lane, that my lane should be negotiable in the times that you know it's time to move around. So when you can, sweet, rock out in that area, you're doing great. When it's starting to dry out, don't let your business suffer because of that. Switch it up a little bit and keep that cash flow coming in. So here we go. That's what I would say. All right. But let us know in the comments, what areas do you run? Are you southeast? Are you northeast, west, midwest? What areas are your no-goes? I get people have those no-goes, no-go zones. So for example, we don't touch Cali, just won't do it. That's a no-go for us, but we find other ways. That's not the only place to make money. Let's say, like, we could get the results without it, so it doesn't really impact that. So I'm not saying you have to go everywhere, but I am saying don't limit yourself too much that your business starts to suffer. All right. All right. So, all right, what do we got next here? What's the risk of relying too much on load boards? So here we go. There's no guarantees in trucking. Tons of shit can go wrong. Whether it's going to be, it could be the perfect market, perfect rates, perfect. You're in your lane, everything is smooth, and then your truck breaks down. Or it could be you finally got your truck going, this and that, and there's no freight in your lane. So it's a moving target. I don't necessarily think it's a risk. And I don't know, man. I kind of view like your best return is from that. You know what I mean? Because you have more control than you actually think. So, for example, my opinion, that dedicated work sounds cute, but at the end of the day, like at the same time, that's it. You're governed to that. That's all you're doing. Like there's no up and there's no down. You're just at the mercy that there's enough volume for them to feed you. And I get it. That's your perspective. There's guys that are going to love that. That's where they thrive best. There's other individuals that will do their best work under pressure. Perhaps maybe I kind of fall more in that realm than the other one. So I think if you're creative enough and in those load boards, I view that as opportunity. I view that as everything is negotiable. I view that as, as long as the people that are negotiating for you are top hitters, like our dispatchers who know how to get it, then you're in a good spot. So to learn more about how those guys are doing it, 863-342-5171. Give us a call and we'll explain it to you, and you can join the winning team. All right. So guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Keeps these videos coming out, and helps the algorithm put it in front of the right people. And so it keeps us motivated. So here we go, guys. We would appreciate that. All right. So again, that was breaking down the question of what is the risk of relying too much on the load boards. It's I guess the higher risk is if the individual who is doing it for you doesn't have the right personality, because it can go wrong. Yes, it could definitely do that if the right person is not the one doing that. So for example, a guy gets on there, looks for a low hanging fruit, takes it, doesn't negotiate, hands you a load. Did they do their job? Yes, but did they really do their job? Pretty much no. You have to have that street smart tenacity individual that you're asking for money no matter what. That's like 101, man. Like you're making that phone call asking for more because you already know. You already know that they got more in the lane. Why would you not ask for more? Like if you don't, you're not going to get it. So everything's negotiable. You want the guy to be thinking outside the box, take you to different areas, just to increase your revenue. And even if you said no, as an owner operator, no forced dispatch, I get that, but you want that individual to be creative. You want that individual to bring those ideas to the table so that you can reap the benefit of that. So again, like the risk means reward, and it just comes from a place of individuals actually that want to play that game and want to risk the biscuit, as they say. All right. So, all right. How do I protect myself from a broker that doesn't pay me? All right. I mean, we've been going through some of this shit lately. It's you just got to do your due diligence up front, man. Making sure that you're always checking that credit, no matter what. Even if you book the load in the morning and you're doing another load by them in the afternoon, run that credit, because I have found recently in these times, man, they no longer have credit. And then that's a problem. And I'm not talking about that we just booked so many loads with them that, it kind of depleted the credit. No, I'm talking about went from like whatever, 25,000 as an example to zero, like the rated zero. And now you got to file against a bond. And are you even, what are you getting? Pennies on the dollar. So all of these, if, even like the people that was talking about Wagon, like, the dissolution of their company. So now pennies on the dollar, are you even making your money back? So it's just starting your process and sticking with it, never getting too comfortable. Trust but verify. That's what I could say about that. You always want to be the same thing. So keep your behavior repetitive. Make sure you're checking. Another thing that guys do, again, they don't want to deal with any of these headaches. Right. I've seen, unfortunately, in this industry, guys, broker out of business and he owes that carrier, $90,000, good luck. So a lot of guys switch that liability by leasing onto an owner operator, leasing onto a carrier, much like us. So again, guys, all of that back office stuff is taken care of for you here. And that's the beauty about being this owner operator. You could slice and dice things up as much as you want. How much you want to be exposed to is up to you. So to learn more about what we do to protect you, it's 863-342-5171. We are the front line on that, and that is our battle. So you can focus on actually just generating the revenue for your truck and making sure that everything falls into place. So we fight that battle. All right. So give us a call, 863-342-5171. Looking forward to talking to you about that and explaining how our program works. All right. How do I spot when the market is turning down before it's too late? Uh, um, what does so I don't know. How do I spot the market when the market is turning down before it is too late? Again, if we come up, I think you have to have a plan and work your plan. Uh, I think that's the number one objective there. You gotta stay running, because what does too late mean? Just like my man who's been in business, he's got an '05, but he's been in the game for 20 years. He's seen highs and he's seen lows, and it doesn't really matter. You're gonna feel it on the daily, right? Because when there's no one top indicator. It usually the signs come subtle. There's subtle symptoms, and what's going to happen is you just have to pay attention to the good times, pay attention, like, if you want to put it that way, like before it's too late. So when it's good, that's when you should do your best work. That's when you should be out there running. That's when you should be out there, increasing your maintenance accounts. That's when you should be out there putting away for that rainy day, because these days are coming. You know that everything is volatile in this business. Like think about it, guys. Not just this show, any other trucking show. Think about it. Go back to their old videos. We're always talking the same problems. We're talking the same shit that has been 10 years ago. Trucking is the same. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. We have the same problems year after year after year. There are certain things that are going to evolve, automation and ELDs, yada, yada, yada. Yes, but like I'm talking freight wise, rates, it's always going to be that volatile market, because it's something that we don't control. So what I'm going to say is, like, uh, not just to look for the indicators when the market's going to go down or like take a turn that way. Look at the indicators that when you're in a good market, recognizing when it is in our favor, when it is in our best interest to now hit it as hard as we can, to ensure that we position ourselves for when the rainy days are coming. I think that's a great focus point. So I would look for those indicators when you're in that prime, in order to bank as much money as you can, so that these rainy days, don't affect your business as much as it would others. So that's what I would say. Keep an eye out for the indicators when you're in a good market, so that you can focus on staying on the road, and you can focus on being productive at that point in time. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people get into that complacent mode. When there's enough money, we tend to be laxed a little bit more. We get more complacent, but that's the time to be banking it. All right. So here we go. What else we have? What's the risk of being audited by DOT or IRS, and how do you prepare? Ooh, yeah, yeah. So I guess this question stems from an individual who's actually trying to open up his own authority, and I guess is just kind of trying to calculate the risk and so forth. Mm, all right, so we'll start with the IRS. Not a tax guy. What I would say is, if you are audited, you're in a world of hurt. No matter if you think you have it or don't, I will go with a tax lawyer, because I don't know if I would want to fight that battle on my own. So that would be that one. As far as the DOT, it's about due diligence. It's about being able to, it's the whole cliche, like stay ready, so you're always ready. So you have to stay ready. I think at that, like, know what they're coming to look for. That's the only way to stay ready. You know what I mean? Just because you think you're good, no. Like I would, start with an audit checklist from FMCSA. What are they coming to ask for? And if you don't have it, it ain't about you explaining why you don't have it. you better get it and have it. So I would say that, like, it's just you got to be honest with yourself. Like, so if you're going to be doing this, are you that guy that can do this and have this under control, or is this something that you have to leverage to somebody else so that they can do it for you so you can focus on your business? That's the way I would look at this, because remember, there's certain items that have you have to retain it for a very long time, 2-3 years. There's stuff that's 6 months. Everything changes, and again, it's that moving target. So it's about educating yourself as to how strong you are and so forth. So DOT's been through a couple, and it comes down to being extremely disciplined, crossing all the T's, dotting the I's, and knowing what they're looking for. And there's a strategy to that. It's not fun at all. Never done an IRS audit, but know people who have. Don't want to be there either. So here we go. All right. We got to follow, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, put this content in front of others. It helps the algorithm push this along. A lot of owner operators to be. There's tons of information on Super Trucker Podcast. Look through those videos. I'm sure you'll find extreme value there for you as you begin your journey on becoming an owner operator. All right. What happens if I miss filing IFTA or other quarterly taxes? So let's talk about that IFTA. One of the things is what's a common thing for my owner operators that are getting into this. So here's what typically happens where I've seen things go wrong. Let's say you're prepping everything for yourself, you actually get your own IFTA, you lease onto someone. As you lease onto someone, you're actually, they tell you, hey man, don't worry about it. You run under our IFTA, fuel cards, all of that. So you're like, all right, less headaches. You agree to that. All right. So what is the problem with that? Your only real problem is that if you don't close your IFTA, and it's very easy on the top right hand corner, I believe it is, there's a checkbox that says my final filing, right? So you close it. If you do not, here's what happens next. It's going to be 1, 2, let's say 3 quarters now go that you haven't been paying those taxes. They don't know you're running for someone. So they have no idea that you're running leased onto someone under their IFTA, right? So all they know is that you haven't been paying. So they're going to suspend your IRP account for not paying your taxes, even though you have with somebody else. They just don't know that. In their minds, they're thinking, why in the world would you open an IFTA account not to use it? They're only going by you opened one because you need it, and now you're not filing taxes. So they're going to suspend that IRP account. So to what I have seen is when you go up for renewal, boom, the guy gets smacked in the face that he's suspended, that he can't renew it, he's kind of stuck, right? So now he has to deal with the IFTA, get that ironed out, and then, proceed with the process that he's trying to do. So that's just just put my experience out there of what I've seen and what we have dealt with, so that you don't go through that. So if you find yourself that you are that guy that you actually, you went a little bit too fast, and then you actually purchased your own, got your own IFTA, and you actually just kind of let it sit there and you let it hang. Be cautious with that, because that can definitely happen. So again, guys, learn from others' mistakes. Just cross your T's and dot your I's. All right. So what else we got? All right. Is running under my own authority, worth the risk compared to leasing on? It just depends. Everybody has different goals. Everybody has different needs. Everybody has different capacities. There's no, I would say this: if I'm going to start on this journey, knowing what I know right now, I'm leasing on to someone all day, every day. One of the reasons that I'm going to be doing that is because I'm going to get to leverage a lot of high cost items to somebody else. Especially the insurance. That's one of the things that's right there, right? And in the compliance field as well, we're talking. We're going to be talking about DOT. That's a major one right there. CSA score, like managing that CSA score, right? Because as a driver, Right now, you're only really going to be accountable for your PSP, right? So it's a reflection directly of how you're doing and your out of services. So you're managing that. Um, and then the other factors when people, when there are those accidents, when there are the claims, uh, you know, the factoring, the cargo claims, and even like, a lot of these brokers now or customers, OSND, like here we go. Imagine you're minding your business and I got something right now from just like about a year ago. This is a year ago, and this is a big boy name like the broker Schneider. Like they're like, hey, remember a year ago you delivered this and somebody wrote one damaged box on the BOL, and now they want proof and pictures and this and that. That's a year ago. So what that tells me is they're probably on a fishing expedition. Not just me, it's probably not something personal against me, but they're on a fishing expedition looking for money, uh, looking for things like irrelevant things along the way, because they're not the first guys. You tend to see these behaviors come up usually when it's a rough market for them. So here you go. That might be that's a sign that the rates are probably getting in our favor because of their behavior. But here you go. So if you're not the guy to deal with all of that, then or if you just don't know that that's happening, then here you go. I would say lease on to a company like Voyager Nation. You're going to learn the basics. Everybody here is willing to teach. Everybody here, for those who are willing to learn. And now you leverage a lot of things where, again, insurance, you got a trailer here, no problem. You got fuel cards. You got a plate program if you need that as well. We manage all the permits, all that good stuff. So everything is kind of done for you. It's either you want to live, you want to operate like that, or you can slowly go improving your situation. I mean, in last month alone, we had two guys who actually, leveled up and purchased their own trailers. And now they're running it with their own trailer. So now they're on a different pay package. Again, they have a little bit more responsibility, but nevertheless, it's a one-stop shop where you can diversify and change your situation without having to change carriers, without having to always be in this negative situation where like you're going to lose money because you're going to go somewhere else. You have options. And again, I've always talked about that. Owner operators, like you want options in front of you as a business owner, so you can make a decision. Right. So options are good. You always want to be able to have that, whether you execute on it because it's the moment or not the moment, but those options are there. All right. So again, the risk compared to leasing on, like it just depends on who you are and what you're looking for. I've even seen situations where guys are just, scaling it back. They've done their own authority and they're like, nah, man, enough of that. And then they come down and they're leased onto someone in the smooth sailing and then that's it. So it's just finding your right fit. But the idea behind it is to get started. You got to start somewhere. I do see a lot of times where guys actually they want to do everything at once and they want to come out the gate like own authority, new insurance, new truck, power only, or getting a trailer. Like, man, not that that's impossible, man. It's just that there's a lot of cost to that, and there's a lot of variables in that. So you could play that game a little bit safer and still get to the destination and get there a lot stronger than there because you're kind of doing it that way. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying your business is a little fragile unless you could bankroll it. I mean, then I stay in my place and I say, go ahead and do it. But if you don't have that bankroll behind you on doing that, there's a better way to do it. It's a little bit more conservative, but I think it's I look at the long run, at the long game rather, right? So here we go, guys. How do you balance running hard with having any kind of home life? I don't know. This is going to be more personalized question to every individual who's out there. I mean, home life to you is something different to the guy behind you. To me, like everybody has a different value system, and I think it's when our value systems are so different, it's easy to talk shit about somebody else because they just view things different. So like, damn, how can that guy not go home? Or that guy's like, damn, how can he go home so much and not make enough money for his family? It just it's this is more of a personalized thing. Like the only real thing is don't forget what you came for. All right, so you bought a truck. What is the ultimate reason you bought the truck? That's number one, right? What a yeah, boom, like it's probably to make money. Because why even do open your own business not to make money? Shit don't make no sense. So, all right, so you bought a truck to make money. What does it take to make money? You kind of knew the rules of the game, right? So if you're getting into this, have a plan and stick to the plan. And then you just got to manage that. Like you got to massage that. Because I'll even hear like, check this out. Yeah, how bad do you want it? Yeah, for sure. I hear all the time like a lot of guys want off the road and want to become local drivers, right? Because of home time, and doing this a long time. And just let me share what they go through. So now you got a guy who's local, home every night, but my man is getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning. He ain't coming home till no 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. So nobody's going to no ball game. Nobody's good jumping in the pool. It's to eat, shower, sleep, and do it again tomorrow. So, but at least he's home. Are you even really home? So again, the measuring system depends on everybody who's different, right? So my goal to everybody is don't what's your plan? Why did you do this in the first place? Like, so now you can do that. And obviously to get a win, you got to sacrifice something, right? Otherwise everybody be doing it. It'd be super easy, like let's go. But no, it's like, so why some make more than others is because you're willing to do more. You sacrifice. I don't give a shit. Go to any industry. Like that's just the name of the game. That's the game of business, right? um you got to give something up to make that money. So here we go, guys. I would say it's in you. It's what that balance where you find. But nevertheless, you started this to make money, so that should be your focal point. And then just design a plan that's going to work the best that it can with that family, and then just kind of stick to that plan and let it ride out, man. Not just 1 week, not just 2 weeks. Let that bad boy ride out for a few months, and then you make adjustments as you go. And then there you go. All right. What is the number one reason owner operators quit in the first year? Guys, put that in the comments. What do you think? Before I answer that, what do you think is why guys are quitting in their first year? Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Put this bad boy information in front of other fellow owner operators or owner operators to be. They'll find great value in our content. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon. It helps, it will notify you when we drop gems just like this, valuable information. So come on, guys, let me know in the comments, what would you think is the number one reason that guys quit in the first year? Let's go. Let's go. Forgot what they came for into trucking. Yeah. Reality didn't match up with the hype. Driver 70 miles per hour. Yeah. So here we go. Yeah, I would say, I will go as like, forgot what you came for, man. Like, this is not easy. I think a lot of guys think that as you're a company driver, you have different responsibilities, so you view it differently. Once you're an owner operator, you have different responsibilities, and so now your behavior has to become different because you're not the same guy. And what it takes to have that sustainability that you were kind of protected from, because let's face it, right? Even as a company driver, right? They're talking to you about safety, right? But it wasn't your bill. it wasn't, because the CSA score went up. Okay, yeah, they're teaching you about it and telling you, please do this. Here's a safety meeting, da, da, da. But they're not telling you about the insurance premium because they're just going to sound like they're bitching. They weren't telling you about that. So now it's your responsibility. So now it's on you. So the bill is yours. So things change, right? Your approach to everything changes. Just like one man with the 70 miles per hour, right? Cool. But like now when you're paying for the fuel, maybe governing a truck at 63 is not a bad idea. What changed? Your mindset has to change. And so I think a lot of it, what causes people is kind of like what they said, like the hype of just like it's easy, the hype of that, is just you just make more money for doing the same exact job. It's not doing the same exact job. In theory, yeah, you're still moving product from A to B, but your liabilities and your responsibilities are far different. um, from the simplest thing to a breakdown. Before you were like, hey, like, I don't know, like, what truck do I take now? That one broke. Now it's yours. Your everything is on this line. You have to get this truck fixed because this is how you make money, right? So I think is that I think people underestimated, and forgot what they came for. They just want to look at the end product, or like they just see that somebody is making all this kind of money, and but they don't see the hard work behind it. Like it's the same thing, man. Everybody wants to make six figures until but nobody wants to make the decisions that person has to do to make that kind of money. So don't ever underestimate it. That's why I say start slow, man. It's not extremely difficult, but you just have to stay. You just have to have that plan. Don't forget what you came for, and you're gonna be all right. As long as you're devoted to the process and devoted to be successful. It is. I would do it that way. I would lease on for sure, and then let things kind of roll and evolve, and just kind of let my situations answer my questions. Let my experiences answer my questions as to where I want to take it. Because it doesn't mean, not necessarily like it's good to have that goal, but even if it means I adapt and still keep pushing forward, so my plan just got readapted, it doesn't mean I failed. And then that's the way I would do it. So guys, the number one reason guys are failing is I think that they forgot what they came for. They have this illusion of like it was something else, and weren't really ready for the responsibility that it takes to make that kind of money, or to be an owner operator. And then all of a sudden all those bills become yours. um, all right, so I got a guy, Terrell, right here. Want to lease purchase. I have 2K. Is that enough to hop onto a lease purchase program with a company? um, I don't know what's out there. I think give me 1 second, man. Let me see how much you actually need with these bad boys over here. Da, 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 da. 1 second, man. Let me get you a live answer, brother. All right. So you're almost there, brother, man. You're almost there. So the lowest that you can get from what I see here on Low Mountain, that's the guys we talk about all the time. So I'm assuming that's the one you're asking about. They got 22 internationals, 5,000 down, 1,600 a month. So you're about 3,000 away. So you're almost there. That's the one that I do know. Just be careful. I'm going with Tribe before going to. So which one's Tribe? So my man saying to help me out, he's thinking of going with Tribe before going to Lone Mountain. So I've never heard of Tribe. So who's that? What's the full name of that, man? Oh, Tribe Transportation. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so we got him up here. All right, I see. Da, 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 da. So the requirements are you have to have your base plate, 2290, IFTA, extended warranty, physical damage, bobtail, maintenance escrow, equipment. I don't see how much. I don't see how much are they asking. 2,000 down. Oh, okay. So you're gonna save as much as you can with them, and then actually go to Lone Mountain. Yeah, yeah. Here's also the thing, man. Guys have done with what's the how much is it monthly? No, yeah, I've been never heard of Tribe. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm in the industry, but yes, Tyson, I've never heard of Tribe. There's LRM, there's tons of guys, there's so many companies out there, man. So yeah, I'm sure there's somebody out there that hasn't heard of Voyager either. So, but what's the monthly that they charge, bro? No money down. So here we go. So I mean, is it monthly or is it going to be weekly? Because I know SF5 they're I think they have some with no money down, but then they're like astronomical, like $3,000 a week or something, some 2,500 or some crazy shit like that. But yeah, but I have seen people do something similar. So they save it up and then they go. So yeah. Okay, so here we go. So the bill is 1,800. So 1,800 bucks. All right, Tyson says my biggest regret is not listening to your advice. Okay, here we go, man. Um, did you get by any chance? Did you get burnt by these guys or anything like that? So 1,800 a week, man. That's a pretty, and that's aside from the expenses, I assume. Like, is that all in, Tyson? I'm sorry, Terrell. Is that all in, brother? Like 1,800, or on top of that, you got to do insurance, plates, 2290s. Are they just adding on to that number, or 1,800 all in? Because I would say, man, if you were able to save up 2 G's, man, just grind it out, brother. Okay, 1,800 flat. All right, man. If you think like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I would just say get to the 5,000. Yeah, I think it's a little high. I would rather suggest no, like grind it out, man. Stack those 3 G's. And here's a little trick. I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying not do it. But what I have seen guys do, like let's say Lone Mountain is going to want to see a little bit of more money than the 5 G's. Um, yeah, Mike says no money down. Yeah, but 1,800 is 1,800 a week. So, but here again, bro, nose down, like grind it out, man. Stack 3 more G's. Now you at 5, right? And then at that point, once you're calling in, I'm not saying to do it. I'm just saying I would say, if they want to see 8 in the bank, they just want to see that on the statement. Borrow 8 to give it to find someone to borrow 8, make it look like 8, give it the 3 right back. Just they're not looking for that, but uh, you know, give me a call, man. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. 863-342-5171. I'll tell you about how they operate and what they're looking for. But yeah, I would think whatever you're doing now that's working, that enabled you to save the 2 G's, just stick to that right now for a little bit more, man, and maybe make it a little bit more aggressive. And now you get to that 3. You get the 3 more, and now you in. And I think getting the 3 is going to go a lot quicker than jumping onto something that's 1,800 flat, because that's pretty steep, man. And also ask them, man, let me see direct settlement checks. Let me see them checks of what these guys are taking home, because remember, they're probably going to take it right from the check. You want to look at that. So you want a clear picture. Ask them for the last 3-4 settlements, of a couple guys, so that you really have a good idea of what time it is. All right, so here we go, guys. There's always but I like it that guys, like here we go, finding a way, finding movement, like not staying stagnant, not just accepting no as an answer. Like that's what it takes for owner operators to succeed, man. I really think. I appreciate it, man. So Terrell said, I appreciate your knowledge, bro. Your videos help me out a lot, especially going in with this lease purchase. So thank you and keep up doing the good work because your videos are helping. Thank you, man. We definitely appreciate that, man. That's what we do it for. So guys could, get that information, digest it, and make the best business decisions for themselves and their families, and have that fighting chance to succeed. But the idea is that, hey, Terrell, you're gonna be good, man. Keep that spirit up. You're gonna find a way, especially because. You know, through exploring, through learning, through asking, like that's what this is about, man. You got to go find an answer. It ain't coming to you. So my hats off to you, Terrell. Hell yeah, man. Just keep exploring, man. Opportunities just don't come to you. You have to go get them. So through us sharing knowledge and all of that, just like today, hey, I learned about Tribe. Cool. I don't know everything. All right, but now I know about them. So here we go, guys. Let's all keep pushing forward, and that's what this is about. So that's what's up. Um, so yeah. So 1,800 a week. I wouldn't necessarily do that. I would just say grind it out, man. Stack those five. Give me a call, 863-342-5171. I'll tell you what you should be doing next, and I'll put you in contact with the right guy. So I got a guy over there. Even if you do that, man, like Terrell, like here's what I would say, man. Give me a call so I can give you Josue's number. Like what you do is you call him, bro. What are you looking for? What is it that you're going to be exactly looking for? So let's work this formula backwards, right? So let's go like, what is the underwriter looking for? And once we understand what they're looking for, now we go prepping to exactly that. And then we can line everything up so that when you get to that, when we get there and it's finally time, it's pretty much in the bag. It's going to be a yes. So that's what I would say. That's what I would do. But again, the phone number is 863-342-5171. All right, so Tyson, I was in the industry until I got caught hauling drugs unbeknownst to me, but still spent three years in prison. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. Shit, man. Damn. That's some hard time, man. If I knew like I ain't nothing to do with it, like if it was me taking the risk, like all right, man, like that's one thing, man. But like me not knowing, oh, motherfucker, man, like I don't know, man. So hey, sorry to hear that, Tyson, man. But I'm glad you're in this position now that you're exploring different opportunities to either get back in the saddle and ride out again, or I don't know what the exact plan is, but here you go. Um, all right, Terrell, look forward to talking to you soon, brother. So we'll talk soon. But all right, guys, like boom, this is what this is about. That's what the show. We share content, information, so we all could we all got the same goal, man, to be successful. And then that's it. There's plenty of money in this industry, not to be selfish with information, and we talk about things for what they are. Keep our emotional intelligence at bay, so that way we can see things clearly, and not get caught up with these hyped up, crazy ass lease purchases and pretend that we're going to end up winning when we're not. So that's just one small example of it. And actually, what may benefit you is different. Like we are all different. It's all going to come in different shapes and different sizes. And so what's good for one person is not exactly good for another person. You have to find your specific, your specific infrastructure or platform that is going to work for you, that benefits you, your family, and your financial. You know what I mean? So here you go. That's what this is about. All right, guys. Any other questions that we have out there? Right. Justin Rowe, you are not Denzel Washington. Yeah, I know that. And did I say I was Denzel or something? Did I miss something? I don't know. So here we go. Just do trucking, brother. I'm just trying to talk trucking, man. All right, my people. So that's the show for today. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please be safe out there. Drive safe. Keep earning. Stay motivated. Don't forget what you came for. Go get that. Go get that money. And we will be back at this again tomorrow, 9 a.m. All right, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Drop comments below, and not just that. Hit that bell icon so you get notified when we drop videos just like this. All right, my people, be safe and drive safe, and we will talk soon. All right.